Hi, welcome for our online training sessions. So in the previous session, we talked about how to write a simple PLSQL block and try to display the information in the output. So whatever the information we are writing here, we just wanted to go for store in the variables. First, we'll discuss what is variable. What is a variable? So whenever we are working in the programming languages, we wanted to store some values. If you want to store a single value, we will use the variable. For example, I want to store employee number, country name, location, department. Like that, we will go for use the variables to store the values. Okay. How many values can be stored in a variable? Only one value. We cannot store multiple values. Okay. If we want to store multiple values, then we have to use the arrays. We have to use the arrays. We have a separate session about that. We'll talk about that later. Okay. So in this example, we are going to talk about how to declare the variables. So whenever we want to work with the variables, we have to go to the declaration block. In the declaration block, we are going to declare the variables. We are going to declare the variables here. Okay. So here we will go for declare the variables and store the values in these variables. And then we will try to use that variables in our executable block, either for display purpose or for calculation purpose. We can use it for any purpose, and then we can go for close it. So in our previous example, we have seen executable block. In this example, we are going to see the declaration block as well as the executable block, Okay. So let's go for declare. Declare is a keyword. We are going to specify the variable names here, L underscore country, assignment operator, USA, L underscore company, assignment operator. I'm going to say that it's Sony Corporation, semicolon. Every statement should be closed with a semicolon. It's mandatory for every statement. Okay. So then I'm going to specify address here is Trio Towers, 5th floor. So we declared 3 variables here, and then we are going to use this variables in our executable block. So far, what we have used dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. We were writing this value directly in the single quotation. So instead of that, I can use my company variable here. Variables, we can directly use this. We can directly use this variables here. Copy and paste here. And address here. We don't require single quotation. Single quotation is required only whenever we wanted to display some static information. Static in the sense fixed information. When the organization wants to have some fixed information, then we will use the single quotation. If you want to display the variable value, directly you can go for use the variable value in our executable block. Let's go for exit here. Now we got error message here. So what system is showing that? System is showing an error message, assignment operator. It is wrong. So we don't require a colon, just equal to operator we are going to have. In executable block, we will use assignment operator. Here equal. Semicolon is there. What happened? Okay, we have not declared data type. That is a problem. What data you are going to store? Number data type. All are varchar 2. not constant. That's so we have to declare these variables. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll take another program. We'll take another example. Add plus plus. Okay. Now we'll discuss how to declare variables in our program, PLSQL program, then how to store the values in our variables, then how to display these values in our output. That's what we are going to discuss. When we are talking about the variables, first we have to talk about the data types. You might have already come across about the data types in SQL. In SQL, majorly we have three different types of data types. One is number, another one is varchar2 data type, another one is date. When you want to store the numbers in your variables, we have to declare the variable as number data type. If you want to store the values character, then we have to character, number, special characters. These all values we use varchar2. And if you want to store the value called date, then we will go for date data type. Majorly, we have three different types of data types. Okay, so I'm going to take all these three. So my client says that I would like to store customer number, customer name, and customer statement date. Three values we wanted to store. So let me go for declare the variables first. One is customer name. One is customer name. Varchar2 of 30. It means I can store 30 characters here. Another one is customer number. Number of 9. It means I can go ahead with 9 digit. Another one is statement date. Date data type. I can store the date. Okay. So what I have done in the declaration block, I have declared three variables and I have also specified the data types here. For dates, we don't need to mention the length because it takes the fixed date format, whatever Oracle standard format is there. For number and varchar2, of course, we are supposed to specify exactly how many characters or how many numbers you would like to store. So in the declaration block, means in begin, now we can go for use the variables. So whatever the variables we have declared, that we can access from here and store the values. If you want to store the value, we have to use assignment operator. Colon equal to is nothing but an assignment operator. Generally, we write equal, right? Now in PLSQL, this is, we call it as an assignment operator. Customer name, it's a text. Text and date must be within the single quote. Numbers we can directly store. I'm going to say that the customer name is Sony Corporation USA is the customer name, semicolon. Then customer number. If it is number data type, we can directly store the values. We don't need any quotation, semicolon. Statement date, we would like to have this date here. So date also I'm going to specify January 2022. Yes. So what I have done right now, here I have declared the variables. You can write a comment by using double hyphen, okay, saying that variables declaration in declaration block. In declaration block. Here, assign values to the variables is all we call it as a comments. If it is single line, we will use double hyphen. If it is multiple lines, then we have to use write comment here. Then you have to close like this. This is for multiple lines. We'll see that in the next level, how to work with the multiple lines. Writing the comments are very important. It's a basically standard in our coding. We are supposed to follow. because when we are writing some thousands of lines coding, when we are performing some logic or performing some activity, saying that we are going to store customer values here, we are going to update the customer information here, we are going to export this customer's data into some other table, like that, comments will give more meaningful information. Because next level in future, if any developer comes and start working on the program, the moment when I see the comments, he can understand, okay, this is what happened and this is what going to happen over here. Okay, so we have assigned the values to the variables. Now I would like to go for display this data. So what we will use, we'll go for use this dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. If it is a variable value, directly we will use the variable. If it is static value, then what we'll do is we'll try to display that in a single quotation. Now we can find this. Then I'm going to close. Now I'm using two blocks. One is the declaration block I'm using. This is what we call it as a declaration block, where I have declared the variables. We can also declare PLSQL types and cursors that we'll talk about. Exceptions also we can go for declare. We'll talk about that later. In executable block, I have assigned the values to the variables, and also we are trying to display these variable values in the output. That's what we have done here. Okay, so now two blocks we have used. Let me execute this program in SQL prompt and check the output. Right now in our SQL prompt has got some built-in statements. You can go for clear the screen. You can use the word called clear space screen. I can go for copy paste whatever the program we have written in the notepad or notepad++. Now what system is showing? Your PLSQL procedure successfully completed. First, variables are declared by the system. Internally, system will allocate some memory to store the values. We have stored the values in the variables. Then after that, we have displayed these variable values. After that, we have displayed this variable values. Okay, now this is going to become. Right now, variable value is displaying, but I wanted to show some text information in front of these variables. I'm able to see Sony Corporation USA. Okay, when I see this name, I can understand this is my customer name. But 887766, what exactly this? Is it a customer number, or is it invoice amount, or is it some other reference number? Okay, date is there. Is it customer joining date or statement date or due date? So I would like to have some prompt or some information in front of the value. So let's do that. Okay. So before the variable value, I would like to show some value. So within the single quotation, we have to write that information. The first one is customer name equal to. After single quotation, we have to use pipe symbol because we would like to go for concatenate. This gap is not required, of course. Okay. Then the second one is customer number. Then we have the statement date here. Pipe symbol. Like this, we can go for specify the. So whenever we want to display some fixed information, nothing but static information in the output, then we will put it in a single quotation. Okay, then we will put it in our information. Okay, after that we have a pipe symbol. After that we have a pipe symbol. Okay, then we will be having the variables. So variable names we can directly display. Variable names we can directly display over here. Right, now let's see. File, exit. Now what system is asking us? It's asking, do you want to save this file and go for execute whatever the changes you are done. Yes, we wanted to change and go for execute. Now what system is showing? Customer name, this is, and customer number, this is, and customer statement date, this one. So when the organizations wants to have some static information, we can use this. Okay, and then we can have this information. I would like to display all this information in a single line. Right now, 3 lines are displaying: customer name, customer number, and statement date. I would like to display all this in a single line. No problem. We can use concatenate operator here. Complete this. You can go for copy paste here. Next, concatenate. Complete this. Okay. Now let's go for execute. Same information we are going to have: customer name, customer number. Now we can see that customer name. Then we have customer number. Then we have statement date. But this SQL star plus command is supporting up to this level only. We have SQL star plus commands that we will be using to display the information to the next level. We'll see that later. Okay. So like this, we can show the information here itself. Here itself, we can show the information. So we have seen how to declare a variables, how to store the values in the variables, how to display the variable information in the output. This is a very regular access. It's a regular activity. In every program, we'll be having the variables, storage, assignment, calculation, and go for show that information. Okay. Thank you.